So, hi Chitra, good to see you. I was wondering what life is like for you where you live at the moment.
Uh, at the moment, I think my life as one of the privileged Indians is quite good. We have a safe home to stay at home. We have, all the necessities met. And so, me and kids, we and my husband, we have a good family time, lot of time with family. And a lot of our work can happen on the net, so it's happening. So my life is not very disrupted, by COVID, unlike most of my people in my country.
Mm.
Because our nowadays our slogan is "Stay at home, stay safe," but large part of that is not possible for many of them. So I should say I'm doing very well. Only thing is there's a guilt that you are one of the small minority of privileged people who have this ability to be safe in this
Mm.
pandemic.
Yeah. And what is it like for the rest of the people who, yeah, you feel that they're struggling more? What things are they struggling with?
I think there's that, the whole thing about the pandemic is stay away from people, stay home, social distancing. All those things require certain amount of privileges. You need to have a home to stay at home. You need to be able to meet your needs for food and health and everything. You need to have the finances uh, taken care of for your survival to stay at home. If not a daily wage earner or a monthly wage earner, if you don't earn, you don't have your home, you don't have your food at a table, you don't have the medicines for your loved ones who are not well. So I think a large part of this pandemic is not just the effect of getting the virus itself, but that the whole life as people knew it
Mm.
has been shattered. So those we have huge migrant populations who come to the cities and live here and work here. So during the lockdown, they could neither go back home nor have any way of supporting themselves here. They started walking home for thousands of kilometers. Many died on the way, did not have transport. Because of the lockdown, they could not cross borders. Uh, so the one aspect is that COVID itself is growing as a pandemic in India from a few hundred cases to we have like 17,000 plus cases a day, and the graph is just going up, it's not flattening. So, that itself, a lot of people I know have been affected, have lost loved ones. That's the one side of it when you look at people who are able to maintain life. But the other side of it is the effect of the lockdown is really shattered life and community as we know it for people who do not have the privileges of the middle or the upper middle class.
Mm.
So
So,
loss of income.
sorry, how about your faith and what sort of things have you been praying and how has your faith helped you at this time or what things have you been praying about?
There's two levels. One is I think this pandemic has meant that there's been a huge wave of prayer in India. There's been huge mobilization of prayer, and I think that's been something positive where the body of believers are really crying out to the Lord, are praying because we have no respite for this in our country with 1 billion plus people, except something from the Lord, because our systems are so inadequate. Our hospitals are full, our people don't have capacity. So there's been a huge mobilization of prayer itself. But for me personally, I think God is really saying that sometimes we are all so busy serving God that we don't have time for God. We are working for Him and not journeying with Him. And it's like this pandemic is really God trying to put a halt to a lot of that and saying, "Come, spend time with me." And unfortunately, we are all so driven by doing things that we still run to do the work through a screen rather than, now God, there's we cannot move out of the home, but then we are just moving into Zoom. We are all zoomed.
Yes.
Uh, So still I feel the sense I get is God really wants us to get back to have connection with Him, so that we do things with Him and be with Him rather than doing things for Him. And
Yes.
also connection with our people, significant people God has placed in our lives, like our spouses, our children, our parents, our neighbors. We are sometimes so connected with people across the city or the world or the country through all our digital platforms, and yet in the same house we are disconnected with each other.
Yes.
And so I feel, to me personally, God's call is that go deeper in my connection with Him, as well as in our connection with those whom He's placed in our life, whom He will hold us accountable for those relationships.
Mm.
Uh, and sometimes I feel, in spite of Him providing us the space, we just find other ways of not going deeper. We get into Zoom calls, or we get into praying with groups which are far away from us, but we sometimes not able to spend that time with the children, with the spouse, with the parents and others. So
Yeah.
that's kind of, I feel, what God is leading me into.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Thank you. We'll pray for you.
Thank you.